This week's episode is brought to you by Marco's Pizza. Monday and Tuesday nights are Carol U nights at Marco's Pizza in Waukesha. Mention you're a Carol student and receive 25% off your entire online or delivery order. Marco's Pizza, every store, every day, the Italian way. Enjoy the episode. Welcome back, everybody, to the CU in Van Mail podcast. Once again, my name is Sam Gobert. Today, I am joined by the captains of the Carroll University women's soccer team, Caitlin Zanin, Claudia Jones, Susie Lai, and Alyssa Stuckert. Thank you all for joining me today.
Thank you for having us.
So just a quick start. We'll have everybody kind of introduce themselves a little bit for those who don't know who you all are.
I'm Kate. I'm a junior here. I'm exercise science. I play in the midfield. I'm from Waukesha. I'm Claudia. I'm a senior. I play defense, and my major is psychology, and I'm from Oregon, Wisconsin.
My name is Susie. I'm a marketing major. I'm a junior. I play center back, and I'm from Franklin, Wisconsin.
And I'm Alyssa. I'm a junior. I'm a healthcare admin major. I play center back as well, and I'm from New Berlin, Wisconsin.
Awesome. Well, thank you all for coming on to be here with us today. You all recently just had your blue and orange scrimmage last Friday night, where you guys played just about a full game under the lights, kind of like a real game life atmosphere. Talk about that a little bit. How did you guys feel about that game?
Going into it, I think we were kind of like, we didn't really have any expectations just because we were kind of told about like how it would go like just like very recently, and like I think we kind of had mixed feelings just because it was like due to like the COVID policies, we kind of be smart about how we're playing, and like obviously we weren't like used to playing the way we were going to be playing at the scrimmage, just because even with like the subbing, you'd be like 6 feet apart, you'd be 6 feet apart like basically at all times until you were like playing, and even our like warm-ups were like inside, which was just like an odd experience overall. But like I ended up having a lot of fun just because like after a month of training, like that's kind of all you hope to do is just like play and just like get out there and just like enjoy yourselves. So I had a pretty good experience, I'd say.
It was so fun. I had a good time because I was looking forward to it the whole entire month. Also, it was super fun to see the freshmen that we had because we haven't been able to see them in like preseason or anything. So it was super cool to like see them on the big field and playing against like I guess like competition you could say, but it's cool to like we had specifically one of our freshmen from our freshman from Norway. It was cool to see her like actually play and like get in on the action, which was cool.
Yeah, and Joe ended up scoring 2 of her own goals, so that was really cool to see too. Good for her.
Goals.
Actually, 2 of them, so.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, going into that a little bit, like you said, you had the COVID guidelines and you had a month of practice before the scrimmage, and we were all separated into small groups while you were practicing. Was there any learning curves jumping back onto the field after being kind of in separate groups?
I think you're training with each other. Like we had certain pods. You got to train with certain people. Sometimes not everyone. So when you got out on the field, it was kind of a learning curve and like an adjustment that you had to make because some people you weren't able to play with, and then you're thrown next to them, and you're like, okay, so I have to adjust how they're playing and how I have to play as well too.
Yeah, it was definitely cool to play with everyone, and like everyone plays different, so that was kind of hard to adjust to. And like for me, like the first half, I started on the white team, and then I switched to the orange team, so it was kind of difficult to like switch back and forth, but that was fun.
Good. And what were some of the things that you all took from, I guess, after all this? What did you learn about the team? Or, hopefully, cross your fingers, you'll have a chance for a bit of a longer season this spring. What did you learn about this group after that scrimmage?
I kind of of think this team has like a lot of heart and like a lot of grit, and I kind of think we're scrappy. We're like relatively young, I guess you could say. Like I feel like the meat of our team, I guess, is like juniors, and then a lot of contributing freshmen, like I mentioned before, like Joe, or I don't know, we had like Elizabeth on the outside, and Erin came in this year too, and she's a freshman. So I think, and they're really super talented and like know how to play the game. So I'm really looking forward to like being able to play like simple, but also like scrappy and have like an edge to us, which I don't think in my years here, I don't think we've had it. So it's really exciting to see, and it was really fun to see that on Friday.
Yeah. I mean, from watching the game too and keeping stats for it, like it was easy to see that there's still it's definitely a Susie Foster defensive team. Too, you guys really, and both the goalkeepers, Jenna and Rachel and even Caitlin did a great job, keeping the goals to a limited amount until the second half. But no, it looks like a really good team, and looks like you guys are going to have a good chance if we were able to have some spring games too. Going into now, before all this, obviously we were all in quarantine this summer. The summer was tough for a lot of people. I mean, what was it like being on a big team? Eventually a group of 50 athletes on a team. What was that like when you were all kind of stranded and quarantined on your own this summer?
So what we kind of like did was like we used the spring season, and obviously that got canceled, and so we kind of started off with having spring focus challenge, and that's just the thing we try to keep everyone competition and like who's racking up points or not. Doing like extra workouts, or if you're doing touches on the ball, or like if you're making a FaceTime call with like another teammate, like you got points to do that. Just like if you're putting effort towards like the team, like it showed like everyone could see like what your score was. So that's something we did in the spring, and we tried to carry on into the summer, and just like texting people and seeing what they're doing and seeing if they're getting their touches in. And like we actually ended up creating a Facebook page for like the summer, and we like had people send in like workouts or like just like motivational things for like the week, and we had challenges. And in the summer, like if you were kind of like around here, like me and Stucker kind of like really close, we actually ended up training with Seeger, who's like our kind of like a strength coach. So we had to do training like in Van Mill in the summers. That was really nice.
Also,
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead.
Even though it wasn't like with our team, there was like groups of people who would go to like a field in Wauwatosa and get together and like play. So we were still able to get like, I guess like touches on the ball or like train a little bit, but obviously it's different coming in and playing with only girls and not against boys. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, totally. I mean, and you had a couple members of this team who were kind of spread out across the country coming into Waukesha, like Joe coming out from Norway, and Ali Skoma from Washington. Were they kind of all spread apart this summer too before they could come into Waukesha, or what was it like when you had some people all the way across the country and some people located like still in Waukesha here?
I think it kept us like accountable that we had to reach out to not everybody that didn't live here, because it's easy to reach out to your friends, but it kept us on our toes and like made us check in on each other more often than we usually would during the summer.
And we're also like assigned like bigs and littles kind of in the summer. Like that's something we do on the team. It's like we have like obviously like a pass for like an upperclassman assigned to like a freshman, and Allie like had like an overnight here like last year, so she's already kind of met some of the players here, and she's overstayed with like KZ and KJ. So then KJ ended up being her big, so like KJ like reached out to her in the summer, and then like Joe is.
I had Joe.
Yeah, she
Joe
had
was
Joe.
my little,
So then like she kept in like contact with KZ like the whole time, and Joe literally came here just based on the fact of what KZ told her. She's never even seen the place. Like she's literally never been here until she got here and decided to come here. So that's
Really?
the thing. Yeah.
Yeah. So I was like, she was like, "How's the how is Van Mail, like, how are the facilities, and I had to, like, hype them up as fast as I could for her to, because I wanted her to come here and wanted her to be here, but it was kind of, I don't know, I was put on the spot, I guess, by Susie.
So it sounded like kind of like a sorority fraternity thing, like you have a big and a little, kind of leading your way through the year or summer.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
And it was easy too, because I like wanted Joe to come here and like be successful and want to like work, so that was easy for me to be like, hey, just make sure you're like training, or just want to check in and make sure everything's all right and whatever. So I think that helped too, is because we all have the common goal to win, so it was easy.
For sure.
Cool. That's awesome. You all here are obviously all students here at Carroll, but you know, what besides soccer, what are some things that you all like to do, I guess, as groups or individual, if you're not practicing, or well, now that you're done with your cohort, and you won't need to practice for a while, what are some things that you all are gonna do together as a team to stay close?
A lot of us go boarding, which is kind of new. Some of us, so like skateboarding, longboarding. One of our friends makes them for us. So KJ, she's on the team, and so we all are. Some of us are learning to do it. Some of us just know how. So that's something that's kind of brought us close.
Yeah. There's a big group of people, like surprisingly, out of all our team who like to do that. So it's super cool and different.
And the cool thing is KJ like makes whatever, paints our boards, makes our boards, and she also made all of our like practice shirts this year. So like if you see us like around with our practice shirts, like she designed all of them. So like everyone knows that she's like the artist of the whole group and the whole team, and like knows that she makes all these cool designs.
Does she have her own like little small company that she makes these boards or makes the designs for, or what?
It's just like herself. She's just herself right now. If you ask her, she'll make you something.
I thought we'd just plug her small business here on the podcast real quick. But...
She does have an Instagram.
Okay, cool.
KJX Projects.
I don't know, go follow them.
KJX Products. All right, cool. Go follow them if you're listening. Cool. Awesome. So how long have you all been roommates? I mean, you all seem like a pretty close-knit group now that you're captains too, and it worked out that you're all roommates too.
Last year, me and Sucker lived together in a different house, and then this year we all started. But like we've been.
Claudia was my big, so
it
helped. And then we're all pretty little too, so like as you said, like during the summer, like it's kind of our like it's us. A lot of times is like we'll get together and do stuff, so it kind of makes us closer, which is nice.
Cool. So I guess one kind of final question, I was trying to think of some like a fun question to ask kind of at the end. So think of a teammate that you have, and think of like one part of like their soccer game that like one part of their game that you're like, oh, I really wish I would have had like her speed or her ball handling. Who would you pick? And so like each individual, who would you pick, and what part of the game would you add to yours to make you like a better soccer player? If that makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah, do it.
Wait, hold on, I didn't think about this. Dude, I don't know. Okay, I guess I'll go, because like my biggest weakness as a player is like my touch, like my ball skills, and like to me like KZ has like the best, one of the best for sure, and like Allie has a really good touch too. I mean, a lot of girls on the team I'd say have really good touch, but like KZ is someone I've always just like looked up to, because like she handles the ball like none other. Seriously, so like that's something I wish I had, because that's definitely not a natural talent of mine at all. So,
I would pick Joe, because even like playing with her for a short amount of time, she has a lot of soccer IQ, so she knows exactly like the run she needs to make. It just seems like completely natural to her. So I think that's something that you need in soccer, because you can't just like run around with your head chopped off for the most part. So I really love that about her, and I wish like I had more of that too.
Cool.
I think I would pick Katie B because Katie B is so fast, like incredibly fast, can get to any ball. And I feel like if I was as fast as her, I would be more successful because I'd be able to like, I don't know, just track my player quicker and be able to stick with her instead of like struggling to stick with her. I don't know. I just think that would help my game. I think I like that about her. I'm like her biggest fan, I think.
I think I would pick Maddie Bello because she's kind of like been on and off like with injuries and everything, and she's had a really hard time like coming back, and like she comes back and then she unfortunately gets hurt again. And she's always like positive. She's always like trying to hype up the team, and just like mentally she's like always there and trying to help everyone, even though like she's not really playing or able to play. So I think that's something that's really important, being able to like always have a positive mentality to like help everyone else.
Yeah, because she truly
that's
like
really good.
doesn't. She's like not on the court. She doesn't play, and like I'm sure it's like incredibly hard to watch all your teammates be playing, and like she wants to be out there so badly, and like so she offers like everything else that she can to like
She's
be a
always
present
at
on the team.
practice.
Yeah.
When she can't play.
She's
Just
just
a super selfless teammate.
yes, of course.
Cool. Well, that's awesome. I like that segment. I'll have to do that with other players too for other teams. So thank you. Here's one quick thing I thought about. When I was getting ready for the scrimmage and putting rosters together, I wanted to make sure we had pronunciations right. Can any of you pronounce Joe's first name? Because I asked Susie, and Susie laughed because she didn't know if she knew how to pronounce it very well. And she said, "We all just call her Joe. Like it's."
Well,
There's a
Yeah, it's spelled like Joanne, but it's like she says like
Johanna.
Johanna. It's
Johanna or like Johanna. I don't know. I have no
She
idea.
said it so fast. It's horrible.
Yeah.
Yeah, when she talks, it's like that's it. That's her whole name.
well,
Yeah, no, I don't know.
awesome. That's looks like I'll have to practice with that too then and get that figured out. So I'm not the only one. Good. All right. Well, is there anything else you guys like to add real quick before we finish up? No. All right. Well, thank you all for joining me again today on the episode of the CU and Van Mail podcast. This recording should be out Friday. So it'll give me time to edit it and put it all together for Friday. So I'll share the link with you all too, so you can share it online and your socials and whatnot too. So
perfect. Thank you.
cool.
Thank you.
All right. Thanks everybody. Have a great rest of your day.
You too.